Hey, this is Mike Ringwald, Northwest Fight Scene, NWFightScene.com. I'm here with Ben Egli, man. A week out from your next fight. King of the Cage, World Welterweight Champion Ben Egli. Nice belt. And you're fighting Ryan Walker February 4th, Lincoln City, Chinook Winds Casino. And that is a week away from today, man. How you feeling?
Really good. Yeah, one week exactly. Had a great practice this morning at Burke Thai Boxing. I did 18 rounds on the pads after a 3-mile run. Fitness is where it needs to be. Technique is where it needs to be. You know, fight week, his big thing is just kind of going through the motions, losing your last little bit of weight. And then Saturday, the fun part gets to happen. So everything's going really well.
Right on. So talk about the weight cut for you. Have you had troubles with weight cuts in the past, or has it been kind of a science for you now?
It is a science. You know, I know it pretty well. I've been cutting weight, you know, since a wrestler. 15 years old was the first time I had to start cutting. But it is a science. There have been rougher cuts. I was telling a lot of my friends and training partners. Sometimes your body is just willing to let go of the weight. Other times it hangs on to it. And think of the winter time. Sometimes it can be harder to lose, because it's cold and you generally are eating more and things like that. But it's on schedule as it's supposed to be. I've had some nightmare cuts, not again due to anything I did, but just kind of my own body, where they are just a little bit more painful than they should be. But I've never missed weight. I'm always on schedule, always on track. So once you get on the scale, you weigh in. Nothing bad can happen. All the good stuff: eat, rehydrate, and you get to fight. So it's good.
Right on, right on. So let's talk about the fight itself. Ryan Walker, local guy, real similar record, similar age. He kind of got into it at the same time. He's good with submissions as well. Talk about that matchup.
Yeah. So me and Ryan have trained quite a bit. Not recently, but a while back. He was a member at Rose City FC, and we sparred together. We roomed together when we tried out for the Ultimate Fighter. So I'm basically fighting a guy that I like, and we've been matched up several times, and just fights never happened. We were like, so and so wants me to fight. What do you think? No. But we had circled each other for a while in the amateurs. I think I started just a little bit before him, just barely. And it was looking like for a while that it was probably we were eventually gonna fight as amateurs. Now we're again similar record. We're both beating people up and doing really well. So it kind of became time that I guess this matchup makes sense. King of the Cage does a great job matching their cards. They know that I'm the champ and Ryan's really good, so this fight probably should happen.
Right on. Have you heard main event, co-main event?
Co-main is my understanding. It's going to be me and Ryan will fight, and then the big boys, the heavyweights, will fight for the last fight of the night.
Right on. So talk about the training. I know you kind of bounce around a little bit. Talk about where you're training and who you're training with.
Yeah, so my training has always been kind of interesting. It's been different than a lot of people. I don't have one big gym where I can do it all. So just kind of as usual, I'm a CrossFit coach. I do my own strength and conditioning. So that's great. I bring people to me to do my pad work. I teach jiu-jitsu. Those are my main training partners. The guys that unfortunately have to get beat up most by me are my jiu-jitsu students, and I appreciate them very much. Without them, I wouldn't get my hours of grappling in a week. So I really appreciate those guys. And then Burke Thai Boxing. Every Saturday, 2-hour practices, and then I take the things from that weekend and I drill them on my own or with other training partners. I get to utilize those other students from Burke Camp. We get to train together. My buddy Alex Branham is going to be fighting on the card. We've worked together quite a bit. We met each other many years ago at Burke Camp, and then I started training there, on a regular basis. And so it's kind of a mix and match, but it's been working great for me. So.
Awesome. Well, so in terms of, I just watched a video online. You guys, you yourself are doing some instructional videos. Talk about that. Talk about that aspect of what you're doing.
Yeah, so this is a new thing for me. After my last fight, I started a YouTube channel. My channel is focused on BJJ moves that work, I say on the mat, in the cage, and on the street. So practical jiu-jitsu. My jiu-jitsu is pretty good. I've practiced quite a bit, but it's all been shaped by fighting. So I mostly roll in the gi. I use the gi to choke my opponents and everything like that, but I approach jiu-jitsu from a self-defense, a very practical standpoint. Will this work in a fight? So in my channel, I try to show a lot of the moves that I've used over the years, that other people have taught me, that I've kind of developed on my own, little twists and things like that, to show people moves that can work, yes, at jiu-jitsu practice, but also in a fight. It was my buddy who's a YouTuber as well. He has a channel with over 100,000 subscribers. It's Casey Mo TV. He convinced me, one of my students tried to convince me every week, you have to start a YouTube channel. You have to start a YouTube channel. People would love it. I think people would like your style. So finally, after 1 year of him bugging me every week, I started it. I've been fairly successful at the moment. I'm just trying to get the views, build the following, but in a very short period of time, I've seen some improvements and hopefully going to build a pretty good following.
Right on. And what's your channel? The name
yeah, so at the moment, really, because I made a YouTube account however many years ago. Right now, if you just look it up, it's just my name, Ben Egli, E-G-L-I, but I may change the name here to be something a little bit flashier and fancier. But yeah, if you just YouTube or Google my name, you'll find it.
Well, yeah, I hear you. Bend or Break is a nickname.
Bend or Break, yes.
Yeah, where did that come from?
Yeah, so the Bend or Break, and that's really, again, the channel was started under my name. The Bend or Break is probably what it's going to become. I made it a long time. I still don't technically have a nickname, but the Bend or Break is kind of my branding. And I was in training with one of my good buddies. We train every Sunday. He's a brown belt instructor as well, and he's really good with puns. And we were rolling, and then we kind of took a break. And he's like, "Wow, you're really good at bending and not breaking in these high pressure situations." And then he goes, "Oh, haha, bend or break."
And there we go.
Bend. So it was a little bit of a pun, and I was like, I was talking with my manager, Stephen Valentine, like probably a week before that, and he said, we gotta figure out something brand wise or a nickname. Like, you should think about it. I was like, well, you kind of have to be given the name or something. So my buddy brought it up. I said, hey, I think we can work with that, and it's been pretty successful.
Yeah, it seems to work. So talk about, like you said, you kind of bounce around a bit. You haven't had a ton of fights. I think you're approaching, 29, 30 years old.
29 in a few weeks, less than a month. Yeah.
And there we go. Talk about, and we're here at your home, and you have, I think, one child, two children? One child?
Little boy, yeah.
And, what's that been like for you, trying to balance home life and fight life and obviously balancing money as well? Mm-hmm. How's that been for you?
Yes. So yeah, my wife. It's all circumstantial here. So when I met my wife in college, I was training twice a day, every day. When I had just turned 21, I think, and I didn't need rest days. My body didn't hurt or anything. It feels good now, but I remember just being at 21. Muscle soreness wasn't as bad as almost 29, but my wife met me over a summer, and again I was training twice a week. I had a fight 1 month, and then the next month it was, if I won that fight, I was going to get to fight for the title at First Friday Fights put on by Live MMA. This is way back in the day. So I win this big fight, I get a fight for a title. So I trained twice a day, every day for a whole summer while I'm meeting my wife, where we began to date and things like that. So she was very used to me putting training kind of first, and she's been pretty patient with me, but she met me like in the heat of battle. She just knows, okay, that's just kind of what Ben does. Our son was born when we were both still in college, and he was born, my wife went into labor Friday at 1 o'clock. He was born Sunday at 7 a.m.
Wow.
So I missed boxing on Friday. I missed jiu-jitsu on Saturday. Sunday was my rest day. I was back at the gym on Monday. Had to do a little bit of convincing, but I told my wife it's very important that I maintain my training for myself, because fighting is a selfish sport, but to set an example for others. Life gets in your way all the time. Family, children, sick kids, money problems. But if you really want to train, if you want to get better, if you want to be a professional, if you want to own something that looks like this, you have to just keep rolling with the punches and keep going, keep training no matter what.
Awesome. Well, perfect. Well, hey, I appreciate your time. Anyone to thank for the fight coming up here?
Yes, always. Again, all my training partners. We're Gracie Technics here. Burke Thai Boxing Camp. Thank you guys all, especially today. Everybody that held pads for me today, 18 rounds. That's it's hard to hold pads for that long, so I appreciate that. Lana's Egg Whites, Dethrone, of course. Threat Dynamics, Bull Mountain Bar and Grill, Boone's Ferry Chiropractic and Massage, CrossFit Tiger PAW. There's probably a couple more, but yeah, anyone that helped me, thank you again. Thanks to my family as well for putting up with me, and I'm excited, looking forward to this fight.
Awesome. Well, you heard it here. Northwest Fight Scene with Ben Egli, a week out at King of the Cage, Chinook Winds Casino on February 4th. Thank you for your time, sir.
Thank you.